today's today. Today we're jumping into Killer Sally. This is episode 3. We are wrapping up Killer Sally. So in the last episode, I was very touched and moved when we saw the children in with the mother. That was one of the most moving parts of that episode for me. We are still learning about the violence on both of their parts. I think the steroids definitely had to play a huge role into this whole situation. We also found out that Sally's husband was messing around on her and doing what he does, and had a girlfriend, I'm assuming, on the side, and she was proud, it seemed, to be his girlfriend on the side. So there was a lot of things that was going on. Apparently violence, abuse, cheating, steroids, anger, ups and downs that contributed to this man's death. Now we're going to be getting into this episode, which I'm assuming is going to be the case with Sally versus the People. I believe that's even what the title is called. The People versus Sally McNeil is what this episode is called. After this, I'm going to see if I want to, I think I should wrap up the John Wayne Gacy, the Peacock stuff that we still have 2 episodes to go. I don't know why I did that because after I watched the ending on the Netflix version, I was like, well, why did I watch the John Wayne Gacy one on Peacock? Maybe just to get a different view on it, but I know how the story ends now, so I'm like, should I continue to watch those 2 episodes of John Wayne Gacy, wrap it up, and then we'll get into the Ted Bundy tapes that you guys have been asking for. So let me know down below if you want me to continue the John Wayne Gacy, which is 2 more episodes on the Peacock one. I feel like it's called Angel in Disguise, or Devil in Disguise. Well, he's not an angel, so I'm assuming it's called Devil in Disguise. If we should watch those final 2 episodes. If so, we'll do that. And then I feel like I should, because I'm like almost done, so just watch it. And then, like I said, we'll get into the Ted Bundy tapes, and then we'll figure out where we're going to go with our crime sector here on this channel. So without further ado, just so you guys know, this is going to be available for a full reaction for my entire platform here on the YouTube platform, as well as my other platform on Patreon. So guys, please sign up to one of those platforms and help support the channel. Today, with that being said, let's jump into Killer Sally and find out exactly what the show has got to give.
I have these nightmares every now and then where I'm trying to get away from Ray and it just repeats again.
Jury will decide the fate of Sally McNeil, a female bodybuilder accused of killing her husband.
Lawyers want the case to be poignant. Start the trial on Valentine's Day.
Opening statements in the murder trial start today.
She is a bully. She is a thug. And that's hard to say when you're talking about a woman.
A violent person can't be a battered woman.
Law recognizes that if you have the right to defend yourself against imminent harm, you have a right to use force to remove that threat.
It wasn't a jealous rage. It was fear. I have good intentions to be the best mother I can to my children.
Did she use her strength to defend herself or to murder her husband?
Bodybuilder Sally McNeil may be only 5'3", but Sally is no weakling.
The voice you hear on hard copy back in 1995 was this subculture that people didn't know much about, the bodybuilding community. It's not what attracted us to the Sally McNeil story. It was her. Instead of pumping iron, she was pumping bullets into her husband.
I can curl 120 pounds for 10 reps. So just think what I can do to your neck.
Fisher, who shot her married lover's wife in the head. Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan scandal.
I heard about that.
But acted out of anger.
Cut off her husband's manhood, claimed years and years of abuse by her husband. These were women who burst onto the scene, like Sally McNeil, and we couldn't look away.
And them talking about my mom. It was devastating. It was depressing.
A powerful, violent woman who is better off behind bars.
I've been talking to them because nobody knew how much he abused me.
It would upset me when I was a kid because I would want to watch it, Killer, Marine Sally, or stuff like that, because I would get to see pictures of my mother. I missed her so much.
My grandmother saying the kids don't need to be a part of this. They need to have a good life.
Start out a homicide prosecution. Really take the role of instructor. Sally McNeil initially claimed that Ray had been beating her up. Looking at the autopsy, Ray McNeil had been shot twice. He bled out in his abdominal cavity and his chest cavity.
After you shot him,
He came after me. He came after me.
Shell.
My hand. I was holding it in my hand, the hand that I was pulling the trigger.
Came at her, she reloaded and turns around and shoots him immediately while he's standing up. Second shell from the first shot is in the back bedroom where the ammo is. Went to the back bedroom, got another shell, and had to load it. She put the second round in and went out to the living room while Ray is down, shot in the face while he was on the ground. Blood spatter was underneath the lampshade. Standing up when he was shot, the blood would be on the outside of the lampshade.
Shot an unarmed man, and then she reloaded and shot him again.
Cold-blooded first-degree murder.
You can see the corner of your eyes. You can watch their expression. It changed with the second shot. I really did think that the best defense strategy was battered woman syndrome.
Psychologists started appearing on television talking about it.
It is a slow deterioration of the victim.
I think I may have heard it during the O.J. Simpson trial, but I didn't associate myself with that.
I was retained by the defense attorney to conduct a full psychological evaluation of Sally McNeil.
Come running after me and dive on top of me and start choking me.
I had a hard time talking about some of the issues, particularly the sexual abuse. Brain scans of domestic violence victims mirror the brain scans of prisoners of war.
She had PTSD, not from the Marines, from Ray. I killed him because I was protecting myself. He was trying to kill me, live or die. To me, it seemed like he came after me. What I remember, it seemed like it was going in slow motion. Running, I ran away from him and shot him. I don't remember everything. And if I don't get everything right in order, it doesn't mean I'm lying. I didn't plan this. If I had planned this, I would have never done a day in prison. This man was choking me, had been choking me for 8 years, so I'm sure I wasn't quite right.
An expert like Nancy Kaiser-Boyd would help you understand why Sally behaved in the way she behaved.
I do recall the prosecutor making a lot of objections. Isn't it true that some battered women leave and some battered women don't leave? In reality, there is no one way battered women react. But the reality is anyone can become a battered woman.
Victims are not perfect people. We expect them to be perfect. We want them to be perfect. And then when they're not, we blame them for it.
It's suffering from battered woman syndrome is the abuse excuse.
Sally McNeil is a battered woman, and Ray was a batterer, but there was no imminent threat.
The moment when I became hip to how the trial was going, the parade of Ray's friends coming in and testifying against me.
Ray and I met before his death. He was telling me that he was leaving Sally and going to live this happy life with Marianne.
I don't think he was ever happy in that marriage. I'm going to kick your ass if you fool around with my husband.
Instead of him being with her, he was out with somebody else.
State prosecutor brought in several witnesses to testify about Sally. A person, she was described as being aggressive, quick to temper. Was one girlfriend who came forward and testified that she'd seen bruises on Sally.
The reason she talked to me about it was because I saw it and I questioned her about it. The trial, there was nobody to put on the stand but me.
It was only one person really talking on my side.
Know the background of it and to know how much trouble she had had with him. Wish that she had told me. She must have been ashamed. I think she was just ashamed.
Course of trial, it is important to get information from witnesses who are present. Needed Shantina in order to describe the interaction between Ray and Sally.
I told them that my dad was choking my mom, and I remember explaining the sounds. How did you know your dad was choking your mom? And I said, because whenever he chokes her out, she makes these sounds. I said, well, when my dad does choke my mom, these are the sounds she makes.
Shantina became emotional during both direct and cross-examination. The judge was sympathetic to the child and really stopped the examination.
Just asking all the wrong questions. They weren't asking about what my mom had to go through.
I was very sad and upset that they did not interview me because I had a lot of things that I needed to say, and I wouldn't have cried at all.
Sally decided that she needed to testify, and I tried to talk her out of it and recall only 2 times that I thought it wouldn't hurt them. And Sally McNeil was not one of those 2.
I think my lawyer wanted me to testify, but I ended up testifying, and I think that was the worst thing I could have done.
She just got rigid, turned into a little Marine who's going to show no emotion whatsoever.
She was going to take the stand that I would dismantle her. You obtained a shotgun. Yes or no? You know how to shoot a shotgun. Yes or no? Put the gun in her hands, figuratively. I had her aim the weapon at Ray McNeil, figuratively.
That DA is booming. She's a liar. She was never abused. I'm a battered woman. So I'm gonna shut down and I'm gonna get scared and I'm not gonna testify right. And he knew this.
There had been physical items that the judge excluded from evidence. Prosecutor said, "You're known by the name of Killer Sally McNeil. Isn't that true?"
I can be reached at the end of the video.
And she denied it.
I made these wrestling videos. I was acting.
You had asked her, "Have you ever portrayed a character named Killer Sally McNeil?" She would have said yes. Because she answered no. An exhibit that had been excluded was now available for the prosecutor to use, posing with the murder weapon and titled Killer Sally McNeil. He's a killer. It was devastating. It was absolutely devastating.
I wasn't advocating violence.
It was like there but not. And I was thinking to myself, everything we've worked on is gone.
Prosecutor Daniel Goldstein described Sally McNeil as a dangerous woman who has a lot of pent-up anger.
No greater experience than standing up in a closing argument and the world is your oyster.
Calling Sally McNeil a person who can claim the battered woman syndrome is like calling hockey a non-contact sport.
We have a tendency to look at women and we don't believe that they can be violent. Indeed, women can be violent too. And women can harbor murderous intent.
He said that I wasn't a real woman just because I'm a bodybuilder and just because I'm a Marine.
Convicted of first-degree murder, she could get 35 years to life. Her innocent, and she could walk.
I'm just waiting on the verdict, hoping that I'm found innocent.
3 days of deliberation, the jury in the Sally McNeil murder trial has reached a verdict.
Sally McNeil appeared in court today, awaiting a fateful outcome.
What happened with her?
I'm the defendant, Sally Marie McNeil, not guilty of the crime of first-degree murder. Defendant, Sally Marie McNeil, guilty of the crime of second-degree murder.
I can remember it was like a womp womp. You know, the room closed in on me.
Second-degree murder is the intent to kill someone unlawfully.
And that's what we agreed on as a jury, that there was no imminent danger. She just decided that she was going to end his life.
I was sentenced to 19 years to life. I'm gonna get taken away from my kids and never see them again. It's like I was killed anyway.
So that meant to me, I was never getting my mom back.
I never in a million years would have imagined she would do as long as she did.
It's him. I miss his friendship. I miss talking to him. I just miss him, period.
Love everybody in that family, including Sally. We saw both sides of the story.
Arrived at Valley State Prison for Women on the 1st of May, 1996. The children are on the other side of the country, 3,300 miles away. Being in prison has taught me that life goes on while you're stuck in prison. Mom used to bring the children out once a year in July.
Hard leaving, you know.
And it may not have been a right decision, but we ended up not going anymore. And it was just easier for me to tell them that I lost both of my parents on Valentine's Day.
Shantina's prom. I miss Shantina's graduation. Then I miss him graduating high school and going to his prom.
When I joined the military, my mother and I would correspond. My mother a letter saying that she didn't have my sister and I in mind when she pulled the trigger.
I kept hoping after she was sentenced that, you know, maybe they'll let her do 5 years and they'll let her out.
I've gone through 5 parole board hearings since 2011. I got denied because they said, you are not a battered woman. This time I went to the parole board, I had to say it was my intention to kill my husband. I accepted responsibility for what I did.
I'm sure that she believes that Ray needed to die. He didn't. She was justly convicted. After that, I'm out of the show.
Women 25, 30 years later after Sally's case who are getting equally long sentences.
Was she really past the greased up muscles and the steroids? If I could meet her, I might apologize to her for that.
Really?
Yeah.
So she was just released. Oh, child, I'm so hungry.
Oh my God, I haven't had that in 25 years. When I first got out, I lived at the VTC. VTC is the Veterans Transitional Center. They welcome us back to society. I have a job in a warehouse. I can make my own money. Life is good. Freedom tastes wonderful.
Last time I saw my mom was in 2004. She is my mom. She's a grandmother. You know, I want her to watch her grandchildren, you know. Just because she messed up, it doesn't mean that she's a messed up person.
Hey, you lady! Oh my God! Look at your hair, it's so pretty. And look at you. You look good, Shantina.
My prom pictures.
Your prom, and who's that cute boy?
After I graduated high school, I joined the military. I deployed with the 1st Cavalry Division to Iraq. I was physically abused for 3 years. And my unit didn't know about it. I just wanted to be loved, you know. I was repeating that same cycle. What I chose to do is like, hey, this is wrong. You're not for me and I'm not for you. We have to get out of this relationship. I realized nobody would ever hit me again. Now, I just focus on my son. That's the only man in my life that I need to take care of.
I dream about seeing my son, John. He's living down in Texas.
I got a chance to visit her because I've been to drug and alcohol treatment. I had deployed so much and I had fought so much that I just mentally couldn't do it no more. I had a wonderful wife. She took care of me in every way. It was very bad to her. Between the fighting growing up as a kid, between 5 combat tours, my entire life has been violent. I don't want to be around violence anymore.
Wednesday, we go to our support group program at the VTC, and I met my boyfriend there.
Oh, gosh, girl.
Time has taught me that you only get one special gem in your life.
You have to date for a long time before anything serious comes about this relationship. His friends were all telling him, you know what she was in prison for, don't you? They were more nervous for him than me.
She's missed 26 years of her life. That's time she's missed with her family. I'm happy that she's found a lover.
That's weird.
I'm free.
Is she gonna marry? Oh, that's her son.
Take thee, Norfleet.
To be my wedded husband.
To be my wedded husband.
May kiss your bride.
Hold on a minute, because this might take a while.
That's a cute dress. Oh, wow. Ooh, that was a really good wrap up of this show. We got to see everything, literally. Her spending 25 years in jail. Then she gets out. She got out like 2 years ago. Already. 2 years ago, she's already married again. And now she's living her life over there in California somewhere. Heidi Ho Winslow. I don't know. I have been torn through this whole show and learning about her because she was abused, she was beaten, she was battered, but she also still did kill somebody. But then, let me tell you something. I am torn. I am torn. I am torn. I am torn. So, I don't know. Watching her be happy, I felt happy. But then I felt upset too, so I was like, well, damn. Ray and his family, they're suffering. You know, well, Ray's dead, and then his family never is gonna see Ray again. But then, I don't know where to go and how to feel. What I could tell you 100% is I was so happy when she connected with her kids again. That's what brought me to like tears, to see her kids be back with her after so long. That's the only permanent thing I could tell you guys of how I feel about the whole situation. And now, you know, at least they have their mom. There was something else I was gonna say, and I completely forgot what it was, because, you know, that's me. All I see, she ate that burger, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to go get a burger. But regardless, this episode was very interesting to learn more about her, and like, just the whole thing. I would give this like a 9.5 if I was gonna rate this episode overall. I was very interested in it. You know, there's so many things that I want to say, like more and dive deep into it, but I don't want to offend people. And also, it's such a touchy subject, so I think I'm gonna leave it just how I said it, how I feel and everything like that. I think overall, getting her kids back with her was really touching and like warming for the heart. Crazy that she moved on to another man so soon. That's how I feel. She's only been out for 2 years. But hey, the story has its ends, and now I'm very curious to see what you guys say down below and how you feel about the whole situation with her being set free pretty much after 25 years in prison. Do you think that was enough time, or do you think that she deserved life in prison? I'll be waiting for your comments down below, and now I'm gonna give you that outro that you're waiting for. With that being said, if you see this reaction and realize you are not subscribed, hit subscribe and also please like and share this content because it does wonders for this channel. And I'll see you all next time on Antes el Play.